Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are here with Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 2. Now, before I get into it, I did not review Episode 1. I'm not quite sure how I feel about Love and Marriage DC. I'm not comparing it to Love and Marriage Huntsville because they are two totally different franchises, but I'm just trying to warm up to it. Because, truth be told, it was giving sleepy time tea. Okay, so y'all, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Monique and Ashley, they meet for lunch and they start discussing their marriages and being moms and just how things overwhelm you. So Monique said things are rocky and Chris isn't holding up his end of the bargain. After 10 years, she's feeling like you ain't doing what you said you was gonna do. Now Monique, let me pause you real quick. Okay, I don't know if I quite believe all of it is Chris's fault. I feel like some of it is yours, okay? And you don't want to accept responsibility for that. Because I'm peeping your actions throughout episode 2, and I don't know, girl. I just don't know, honey. I don't think it's all on him. She says she doesn't feel like Chris hears her because, side note, I hate the way that Monique says because. It's because it's like she spells because, BAHCUZ. I don't know what it is that grates my nerves when it comes to that. I hate the way that she says because. Oh, child, that's just a side note. It's probably a personal pet peeve, but I just hate that. So then they discuss motherhood and how basically they're married single mothers. They're doing everything and the men are out working or doing other things, not really paying attention. So Ashley said she had to drop out of school twice to, juggle everything. Men do not understand how hard it is to care for them, the children, ourselves, give ourselves some zhuzh, give ourselves some damn grace, get some sleep, and it causes you to lose yourself. Okay, we have to be all things and do all things at all times. Child, it's hell being a woman. Do you hear me? We literally bear the burden of a lot of things. And then it's like if we say something, we're complaining, oh, well, he provides for you, girl. You got a good life. Ma'am, yes, my life is blessed, but at the same time, I also want a little help. It's okay to vent that I'm not getting everything that I thought that I was going to get, especially when I'm overwhelmed and drained. So Ashley is like, I'm just happy to have somebody to talk to about it and not feel like I'm complaining because it's not a lot of people that are in the same space as I'm in. So then after they talk about that, Monique brings up hosting a vegan dinner and Ashley, of course, accepted. And they start talking about having more kids. So Monique is like, I'm not having no more kids, honey, unless I didn't jump off in time. I am not about to be playing with that PO method. That's not about to happen at this big grown age. Girl, if you don't get them tubes tied up or something, I am not about to be relying on no pull-out method when I don't want more children. But y'all know what? Not every time I say PO, I think about Paul from Ready to Love. Paul has ruined the initials PO for me forever. Moving forward. So Ashley said she thought she was going through early menopause, child. At 36, she said I was having hot flashes and everything. Now, while she was telling the story, all I was thinking is 36. Because I don't know, Ashley does not read 36 to me. She reads a little bit older. Not saying she looks old, but her demeanor just gives me older than 36. And that's no shade. Moving forward. In the next scene, DJ Silva, which is Ashley's husband, he gives us a glimpse of his work life. So he's sitting in with a meeting with his right-hand man, Sean. And, he said Sean basically does everything for him. He said when his dad died when he was 18, Sean told him he was going to be there for him. And he stepped up and he took that responsibility. And he not only said it, but he actually did it. So they're going over his schedule. And, child, it's hectic as hell. Do y'all hear me? Oh, child, that schedule is tight. And the CIAA is coming to Baltimore. And of course, they want him to be a part of it. So he's going to be doing parties. He's going to be hosting gigs. And he said last time he was working so hard that he actually worked himself into the hospital. And you really can suffer from exhaustion because sometimes I'm like, you know what? My body is telling me I need to lay down. Okay, I have to take a nap, child. I can't do this review, honey. I can't do it right now. I'm going to have to wait. And, people who are workhorses, they push and push and push and push until they can't push anymore and their body pushes back. But the thing about that is it really worth it? I had to really stop and assess that one day. I'm like, okay, I want to get all these things and I want to acquire all this stuff, but is it really worth my health? And it's not. And baby, I know Ashley gonna have a fit when she hears that work schedule. In the next scene, Monique goes into the radio station, and she said that she was a guest co-host previously, and she's hoping to get a full-time opportunity. Child, now Monique trying to get her ducks in a row on the slick, honey, and she ain't fooling me. So she meets with a few of the hosts and one of the producers, and she's like, so what brings me here today? And girl, these cameras. Child, I'm not about to play with Monique. So they tell her that they're looking for a morning show host. They're like, yeah, we were looking for a mom. I'm like, say what now? Not y'all were looking for a mom. So Monique said, well, you know what? I will rearrange everything to make this work. I will do whatever y'all need me to do. So he tells her that it's a morning show, so she gonna need to be there by 5 to 5:30 in the morning. Child, I need that job. I don't sleep no way. Child, y'all know y'all gonna get a review at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, rock, honey. It don't matter. Okay, it don't matter what time it is. 6 o'clock. Y'all gonna get a review because I never sleep. And I really need to get that problem under control, honey. I know this is not about that. This is about the review. But honey, I need some rest. Okay? Moving forward. So Monique is like, well, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready for whatever you're ready for. So he tells Monique that they have to make sure that she's the one because they don't know if she's going to bring the drama that was associated with Real Housewives of Potomac. Sir, that was 2 years ago. Y'all still thinking about that? Y'all still talking about that? I don't want to get over here and hear about that. Okay, so if y'all think y'all finna get over here and start talking about that, I'm out. Okay? I'm not in the mood for that. I'm not in the mood for a divide. I'm not in the mood for no arguing. So Monique, if you're going to come over here and keep referring to that other show, then I'm not about to be doing that with you today. I'm just not about to do it. So she said, I don't bring drama, but if it comes, then I will address it. In the next scene, Chris meets with Kevin to get his side of the story after Winter. The woman that has her head shaved on one side and her hair is long on the other side. Kevin is her estranged husband. So Chris wanted to get together to see what I was doing, honey, because he was like, look, there are two sides to every story, yours, his, and the truth. So let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Because after Winter said they were not together, he wants to know the tea. And Kevin shows up. I was not expecting Kevin to look like Chico and them brother. Y'all know Chico DeBarge now? Child, I was not expecting that. Oh, honey, I was not expecting him to look like this at all. Do y'all hear me? So Chris was like, I just really want to hear what he has to say. So he arrives, and Kevin told Chris, just as he was arriving, the divorce papers came through. And she made it crystal clear that he better sign them. Okay? She's ready for him to sign them papers. Shout out to Usher. And don't hesitate. Don't take too long, honey. I got things to do. So they showed this audition tape. I guess it was an audition tape. And it was Winter and Kevin. And they were saying that they have a lot of sex and they're in love. And this was just 9 months ago. She said they have a record of having sex 8 times in one day. Okay, that had to be 2 pumps per time, honey. I would have to pack my panties with ice after all that hunching. The most I can do is 2. Okay, but I'm a busy lady, honey, so 2 is probably pushing it. But if I'm really into you and I roll over the wrong way, we might get it popping. But in my younger days, in between classes, it's cool. But right now, 8 times a day, child, please, I got a whole child and other things to do besides laying on my back or him laying on his back or reverse cowboying all damn day long. Absolutely not. So Kevin tells Chris that he was accused of stealing company money to take their kids ice skating. And say, well, now, why in the world would you need to embezzle money to go to the ice skating rink? How much is it per ticket? Is Nancy Kerrigan going to be there? What about Tanya Hardin? Child, what is happening? Child, y'all know all about Tanya Hardin and Nancy Kerrigan. Oh, baby. And Tanya clipped Nancy real good. Oh, honey, it was a whole scandal. I remember watching that movie as a little girl. Anyway, that's just a side note, child. I'm about to get off track. But anyway, honey, the 2 of them going to have to be there for me to be embezzling money to take the kids down to the ice skating rink. Honey, if y'all got out that bed and stopped doing all that hunching, you'd have a little extra change to take your kids somewhere. Allegedly. He said, okay, so that was the first claim that kind of got in between us. But he says he's never been to an ice skating rink, period. And he's never taken his kids. So then he went on for 16 commercials while Chris just sat there like, yeah, okay, right, yep, right, yep, boy. Boy, goodbye. So Chris said, I've always known Kevin to be a good guy. This is what he said in his confessional. Chris said, so has she ever sat down and listened to you explain? Well, honey, if she did sit down, she would still be sitting till this day. The man is going on and on like Lamb Chop's Play Along. It is the song that doesn't end. Child, anyway. So he said because he couldn't figure out what was happening fast enough, it put his wife in an awkward position because She didn't understand it. He was like, I didn't even understand it. He's like, it's like a robber coming in robbing you and you trying to figure out what happened in the robbery. You got robbed. That's what happened in the robbery. He's giving scammer. Okay. Speakers going hammer, scammer, scammer, scammer. Shout out to Soulja Boy. It's giving scammer, honey. Whatever you're talking about right now, I don't buy it, honey. You lying and the truth ain't in it, allegedly. So Chris is empathizing with Winter. So Kevin is like, I got accused of love bombing my wife because, I would make her breakfast in bed, always date nights. Sir, why would your kids accuse you of love bombing unless they know you're a narcissist? Why? You might want to stop saying that out loud. Because my children will never look at me loving on my person and say, why are you love bombing them? They would say, that's what's up. Shout out to Stormy. And they would say, you know what? I love the way that you love on my father. Or they would say, I love the way my father loves on you. Not you love bombing. Honey, something about you ain't right. Okay, you look shysty, you're talking shysty, honey, you're talking in circles. I don't trust you. So Chris said, yeah, that's my problem. I've gotten lazy with the romance. And he was like, I'm overwhelmed, but every time I try to do something, nothing is good enough for Monique. Well, child, we saw that with this episode, okay? So he starts reminiscing over how it's affecting the kids and how they miss Winter and how he misses her kids. And he's just sad about it. And Chris was getting all choked up, honey, because Kevin got him. In the next scene, Jamie, DJ Quicksilver, and Neil and their table of turtlenecks, they're out having drinks. So Neil is a basketball coach and DJ Quick's son plays basketball. So they're just doing some catching up. And Quick and Jamie are tussling over whose party is going to be more major for the CIAA week. So Jamie has an entertainment company and he's throwing parties all over the place. And of course, DJ Quicksilver is doing his thing with the CIAA. So they're throwing a party together. But Jamie is like, look, I'm going to make sure my parties out-party your parties. So they tussling about that a little bit. So then DJ Quicksilver, he's like, how does your wife feel about you getting back into the nightlife? And Jamie says she don't like it, but she understands it because it's my passion. If it's going to make me some money, then she cool with it. So he was like, well, how did she feel about it back in the day? He said, now 10 years ago, she was worried about the women. Child, she probably still worried about the women. I don't know, child, because you were kind of acting up at that dinner as well. Moving forward. It's the day of the vegan dinner at Chris and Monique's house, right? And I was down for the chef until I saw him barehanding them meatballs. Ill. Okay? Ill. At this time, sir, please put on those black food service gloves. Yuck. Oh, I was so disgusted, honey. I don't like, let me tell you something. If it's me in my own personal home, then yeah, I'm going to wash my hands and I'm going to cook my food. But when someone else is preparing my food for me, I don't want your nails digging underneath my meat or my vegan meat or my plant-based meat. Honey, don't put your hands in the meatballs. Oh, that was disgusting to me. That's just a side note. So Monique says she used to think that vegans were crazy, but now she doesn't crave meat. You can wave bacon in her face. She can smell bacon, and she's good on that. And I tried to do vegan, and I actually did enjoy the food. And I tried to keep it up, but, after you've done something for so long, temptation is real. But I'm going to try it again because it actually helped my body feel a lot better. I'm not going to lie to you. So Monique and Chris sit down, and they're talking about the meeting with the radio producers, right? And she's telling him that it's going to be early, so he going to need to support her by waking up with the kids. He's like, well, whatever you need me to do, I got you. He's like, yeah, I'm usually up getting the kids breakfast and everything anyway. She going to say, yeah, well, no, ma'am. You said he doesn't help. So he's letting it be known that he does help. I caught that. Talking about, yeah, Monique, cut it out. So then he starts telling her that he met with Kevin. He's like, I'm a little bit torn. She was like, torn because of what? He was like, I felt bad for Kevin because, he really wants her back. He really loves her. So Monique is like, well, Winter has no reason to lie. She said that there were certain things that she didn't know about him prior to getting married. And he done swindled you just like he swindled her. I wasn't buying that little act that Kevin was putting on at all. Once he started giving that robber analogy, I was like, yeah, child, no thank you. Side note, Monique, this makeup is flawless. Girl, your makeup looks so beautiful. And I also have to say this. Chris and Monique don't seem to have the same chemistry here as they did on Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, let me just speak my speech for a second. On there, I feel like maybe she wanted to impress the girls, and so it was almost like an act. But here, I feel like we're getting the real Monique, and she's also the nucleus of this show. So it's the real Chris and Monique showing up. And I'm starting to see a few cracks. And that's what the streets were saying over on that other show. But, those rumors were debunked because I think there was an image to uphold. So now I'm just starting to see that relationship a little bit differently. That's just a side note. In the next scene, Quick and Ashley, they go to a restaurant to eat before the vegan dinner. Child, not y'all eating before. Child, not y'all eating before the dinner. But that's actually smart. Because what if you go to the dinner and you don't really like it? So you just eat a little bit and move things around on your plate. Whole time you full. I like that, honey. That's a life hack. So he's telling her about all of the events he has coming up. And she's like, I'm not going to say nothing. Because, the kids have events. I have events. You have events. She says she's used to him doing that. Working for a year straight, and then she blows up about it or gets up in arms, and then they fix it, and then it happens all over again. But I have to say, I really do like Ashley and DJ Quick as a couple. They're a young couple. They're really putting everything out there. I feel like they're keeping it real. I really do like Ashley's personality, and I also like how they're loving on each other. They were like, listen, it's me and you. Okay, and people already know when they get with us, they're going to have a good time. They're going to get drunk. They're going to sing karaoke at 3 a.m. And I mean, that's just what it is. She said, I love you, but you're also my friend. And she was like, you're my person. And I really did see the chemistry between the two of them. And I like their relationship. So far, they're my favorite couple. Now, my favorite storyline would be the scammer and Winter. Child, let's get into it. In the next scene, the guests are all arriving. Child, here come Ashley and Quick coming in all full. Child coming in full of food. So they take them all into the kitchen to tell them what's on the menu. Here go Arena. Does DoorDash deliver here? Girl, that is so rude, honey. She was like, I do not do vegan food. Okay, don't sleep on vegan food now. If prepared properly, you will not know the difference. Because, it's actually really good. Just try something new, girl. So Winter shows up. And Ashley is like, well, you know what? She's Monique's friend, but I don't think she's my type of girl. She's like, I like to dance on tabletops. I like to get the party started. And I feel like Winter thinks that's beneath her. Oh, okay. So she a little judgy. Well, child, let's see what's going to go on. So they sit down and Monique tells them that she homeschools her children. She's been doing it for 2 years and they're studying Africa. So they're taking a trip to Kenya and Nairobi in the Giraffe Manor. While they're saying that, Arena is like, oh, I want to do that. So then Jamie reaches over and puts his hand in front of her mouth, talking about, shh, hush. Oh, no, sir. No, damn, sir. Get your hand out of my face. That's number one. And why are you being rude? She's just speaking. So Winter in her confessional, she was like, I found that to be actually rude. And I have to agree with that. So Jamie was like, well, are you guys afraid of the beer virus? Honey, because y'all know I won't be saying that over here on this channel because I want to get monetized. So he asked about the beer virus and whatnot, not to be confused with the Heineken. Y'all know exactly what I'm saying. And Monique said, I don't live in fear. Listen, I have to protect my son at all costs, honey. You can call it what you want, but I refuse to let the opinion of others cause me to make a rash decision. I don't live in fear, but I am on high alert because I have a son that's immunocompromised. So I'm not just gonna go out there and throw caution to the wind, although I would like to. Because let me tell y'all something. Once I get outside, y'all will notice that these reviews will come out very quickly because I want to be outside. So you don't know which way to take, honey. You want to be cautious, you wear your mask or you don't wear your mask, honey. It's up to you. So they started talking about how they caught it. And Chris, he was like, you caught it too? And Chris said, yeah, I had to take like 5 Advil during the night. So Monique said, well, the first time was worse than the second. And she said the second was she was extremely fatigued. And she was like, you know that it drains the sodium from your body. She was like, and Chris and them wasn't feeding me. I was like, what? She was like, they wasn't giving me no water. She said, I was upstairs and they didn't even check on me. Chris is like, nope, because I'm about to get angry. Don't do that. I'm about to get mad. He said, no. She would say she didn't get enough sleep. And if I would wake her up, I would get yelled at, so I let her sleep. She was like, that was pre-panorama. And Monique said, nope, I'm not going to let you tell that story. So both of them were talking at the same time. And she was like, if you're going to tell the story, you need to tell it right. So he's getting upset because she basically threw him under the bus. And she's like, okay, go ahead and tell it. He said, okay, then hush. Okay, y'all showing out. Baby, y'all are showing out. The cracks are showing. Chris, that was rude. Monique, stop over talking him. Okay, you put the story out there and then you don't want him to defend himself. Girl, hush. I know you want to get it out, but it's not that serious. Okay? She's like, don't even do that. You're about to ruin this dinner. Awkward. So Chris said, well, once she needed me, I told her to text me, and I went in and I checked on her. So don't be acting like I just wasn't checking on you and I wasn't attending to you. She was like, I never said that you weren't. Chris said, roll the tapes back. Listen, now Chris doing a reunion move 2 episodes in. Baby, I am here for it. Chris said, you will not play in my face. Monique, you definitely made it seem like he left you for dead. You left me for dead. You definitely made it seem that way. But y'all know what I peeped? This sit-down dinner is very reminiscent of Love and Marriage Huntsville season 1, when they sat down and they started airing out their marital issues. And that's when we were first introduced to Hotel Holt's infidelity. It's giving formula, okay? It's giving formula. But in the end, she cleared it up. He apologized. They kissed it out. Moving forward. So they still looking for the secret sauce that Jamie and Arena have. And he says she stuck with him through some bullshit years ago. Basically, he cheated and she stuck beside him. Child, I hate that we have to endure so much to get loved on. Why do we have to go through the trenches just to get loved on? Like, love me initially. I don't want to have to go through fire and brimstone to come out on the other side. I'm Ashley already at that point. Child. So Ashley is like, well, what did y'all face? That's what I want to know. So Arena said, infidelity. So Winter said, I'm just curious. Like, I want to know, what makes you stay after that? She said, oh, okay, well, I never caught him. Like, it was basically just he say, she say. Oh, child, it's giving Tisha. She said, well, these women just don't care nowadays, honey. They gonna do what they gonna do. So he over there making excuses. So Ashley in her confessional, she was like, now people make mistakes, but the people need to own up to it. Like, don't go blaming your job. Your job didn't make you slip into her vagine unless you're a porn star. I know that's right, y'all. I am with you, Ashley. So then Arena asked Winter, so how's it going for you? Because you're quiet. And she said, well, it's been an interesting 6 months. She said a few days before our 1-year anniversary, I found out that my husband was getting sued for millions and all of his partners were pulling out because he had taken money. Well, child, that don't sound like a little petty cash missing. That sounds like some embezzlement to me. Ice skating. Yeah, right. So she said he left and moved to his mom's house. She said he told her that he was going to fix everything and it's been 6 months since she's seen him. Well, that's a totally different story from what he just gave Chris over at the diner. So I'm not understanding what's happening. So then they asked her how long she knew him before they got married. And she said she had known him before. She said she had known him for a year. And she was like, I'm a relationship coach. So I asked all the questions. She said, I even had my family check him out. So Monique was like, yeah, because you know Chris had lunch with him and he was saying he loved you and whatever. I'm like, child, please. So she said, it's not that we're getting divorced because of lack of love. He lied to me and said he lived in a basement apartment, but it was in his mom's basement. Ashley said, well, you didn't ask him. Forget asking him. You never wanted to know where he lived? Child, You just sat up here saying you're a relationship coach and you asked all the right questions, but you had never visited where he stayed before y'all got married? Girl, so did you test the goods before you got... Something ain't adding up, child. And she lying, he lying. It's a whole lot going on. She said, well, I wouldn't get into a marriage if I never saw where he lived. I understand that, Ashley, and I am with you because this ain't making no sense. To be continued. And that was the end of the episode. Sure, y'all comment down below and tell me what you think about Love and Marriage DC so far. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.